Yeah. Uh, uh. Pocket full of money, swisher loaded with gas. Celebration in order, you're now watching a class. Pocket full of money, swisher loaded with gas. Celebration in order, you're now watching a class. Pocket.
Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Honesty. I am Cornbread Capone, and we're going to pick up where we left off last time. This will be part 2 of The Tables Are Turning. Even after hip-hop turns 50 years old, this hip-hop conversation will continue. True indeed. I mean, every day, just about, I have a hip-hop conversation. A few days ago, I had an interesting hip-hop conversation. Shout out to my man, Loke. He had an interesting perspective on how he breaks down rappers. He said he break them down into 2 categories. You got those who can really rap, and then you got those who make good songs. And I thought that was interesting, that he would have that take. But aside from the hip-hop conversations that one may have on a daily basis, we got to talk about the truth, man. You know what I mean? So we're going to get right to it. We ain't going to waste no time. Thot culture did not start today. I know there's a lot of people who are repulsed by it, who don't like it, don't like the energy. But it didn't start today. It was actually going on a long time ago. It might have got its start in the 80s, but it might have been going on before that, to be honest with you. It just wasn't mainstream. It wasn't popularized. It wasn't glamorized back then. It was still frowned upon, very much so. But that didn't stop people from living their lives. That didn't stop people from doing what they wanted to do. You got to remember, back then there was no internet, there was no social media. There was no one championing this lifestyle or these type of activities. That's what makes today different. What does thot culture cause? Well, thot culture causes people to believe that taking off their clothes is sexual liberation. It teaches a bad example to people out there who might want to have successful relationships. But then when they look in the media, or they look on the blogs, or they look on social media, they see women wearing what could be considered stripper clothing while in relationships. Some of these women wear these type of clothes and they're married. You got to think to yourself, what kind of impression does this leave if a married woman shows her cheeks on a red carpet in front of the world? Nobody thinks about the impression that it leaves on people who are watching, because you're unaware of who's watching. You have the young generation who's watching you. And some of them might be led to believe that what you're doing is cool. Therein lies the problem. It's not cool. When India Ari called it out, a lot of people jumped down her throat. But she wasn't wrong. When the young man who had the baby for Keke Palmer said what he said, they jumped down his throat. But he wasn't wrong. Women who wear revealing clothes in public, like Sierra, Keke Palmer, and Gabrielle Union, put a misconception out in the world that men marry hoes. Nothing could be more further from the truth. Might have fun with one. Might have one as a jump off. But never make her the wife. No, that's bad judgment. They are for recreational use only. Respectfully. Thot Culture has turned the award shows into a brothel. A striptease establishment, if you will. They recently had Cardi B at a Rugrats themed children's birthday party, and she was twerking. They also recently had artist named Sexy Red perform at a high school. Great message to put to the high school girls out there. That was great. Nobody pays it, people talk about these things and nobody really pays attention. Some people don't pay attention at all, and they really should. What more can I say about that type of situation? This type of energy within rap has brought the quality of hip hop down. Because now you only have one type of female rapper that's being marketed and promoted. Meanwhile, the best female MC, Rhapsody, she don't get talked about. She don't get mentioned. She don't get brought up in conversations or debates. And that's because she's not selling her box. That's because she's actually rapping. And she's not just rapping about her body or how much money she can get out of a nigga. Dr. Dre recently had a sit down with Kevin Hart, where Kevin Hart asked him about the state of the rap game right now. And Dr. Dre said he does not listen to this new stuff. He doesn't like a lot of new stuff, but he doesn't hate on it. And the line that probably touched me the most was when he said rap has evolved. And I've probably been having this conversation with lots of people over the course of the last few years. When I think of hip hop or rap evolving, I would say getting better. But rap has not gotten better. Let's be real about it. Rap lost its quality in the late 2000s, going into the 2010s, probably about 2007-ish. Once we got to the 2010s, it just got worse. The only saving graces to come out of the 2010s was Big Crit, Jermaine Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. Without those three names, you can easily wash away the last last decade in rap music. Why? Because none of these artists have a classic anything. None of them. They may have high numbers because they have a label behind them that buys all the market space and the radio space, and they can buy the charts and they can buy Billboard and they can buy awards and all that stuff. People don't believe that record labels buy this stuff, but it's true. So all them numbers that y'all use in those debates mean nothing, because numbers and money have no bearing on musical talent and quality. You see how that works? You are based upon your skill set in rap music. It's either you have a skill set or you don't. Truth be told, this generation doesn't have the skill set. They don't know how to rap. That's why a lot of them are harmonizing, singing, crooning, using auto-tune. Have you ever thought about how all the males that's currently in rap right now sound like girls, and then the girls that's currently in rap right now sound like dudes? Have you ever thought about that? Next time you listen to the radio, or you're playing music, maybe from your playlist, or maybe you YouTube surfing, I don't know. But next time you listen to music, pay attention to that. Pay attention to how light and soft the voices of males are in rap music today. And then pay attention to how hardcore the women sound. And then you tell me what you think. All of this has made the game dwindle in terms of creativity, originality, lyrically, thematically. Rap music is producing the worst of the worst, when it used to produce life, business, money, and good energy. The public has been programmed to appreciate and listen to bullshit while ignoring the music that should be heard. If we stop listening to it and talking about it, it'll quickly fall off. Just like if we stop spending our money with certain people, certain entities, certain lines of fashion, that would fall flat without our money. You know what? The content of hip hop is so boring and redundant, and there's nothing that you can learn from it. Why don't they talk about taxes? Why don't they talk about owning land, real estate? Or how about, why don't they talk about the black dollar only circulates 6 hours? Nobody wants to talk about that. And the rappers that do talk about that get ignored. You see how that works? We need to control our culture. That's what we need to do at the end of the day. Because right now we're seeing rap in the hands of people who don't really care about it. Essence Fest was supposed to celebrate the elegance and classy black women. In 2023, Megan Thee Stallion had a twerk fest on stage with Janelle Monáe clapping in agreement to what was going on. To which India Ari called out the behavior, and other festival goers contacted the website about the integrity of Essence magazine and the festival, and the contact for Essence has smoke for anyone with that view. I was on a podcast a while ago, and it was New Year's, and I said, I hope we as black people can leave this ratchet shit behind. And when I said that, I could immediately hear two females in the background say, nah. And needless to say, my conversation was cut short and I was quickly removed from that podcast. And this might have been 2 years ago. You see how that works? Anytime you speak against it, it's always going to be met with resistance. You just got to realize that. But I do want to say this. Shout out to the young black women in the world who are not a part of Thot Culture. First of all, I want to take my hats off to your parents, because your parents did the right thing. And parents don't get enough credit for the work that they do. So all those parents that have raised level-headed children who know how to conduct themselves in the world when they go out, I take my hat off to y'all. But I do take my hat off to the young generation of women who know how to carry themselves with elegance and class, because I had to witness this, you know what I'm saying, myself with my own eyes a couple of days ago. And it's a shame that you have women in their early 20s who are more classy and more mature than women half their age. This is the result of Thot Culture. I'm happy to hold a mirror up for you and show you who you are. Why do so many women have pushback when men talk about twerking and the whole activities? Because they have accepted becoming whores, and anyone who speaks the opposite is always met with resistance. What makes hip hop and rap today so trash? The lack of content. If you go to the men in rap, they're only talking about killing each other, making money, fucking hoes, riding expensive cars, wearing expensive jewelry, flashing money. And then you go to the female spectrum, and all they talking about is selling themselves, how much money they can get out of a nigga, fuck a nigga, I don't need a nigga. And you say to yourself, these can't be the only two topics of conversation, or the only topics y'all can rap about. Now, I'm no dummy, and I know that in this world, there's crime that's being committed every day. There's lives that's being lost every day. And there's people doing and selling drugs. I know that. But I don't have to hear about it. I know somewhere in the world, there's a girl selling her box. I know somewhere there's a female juicing a nigga out of his money. What we call finessing down here. I know this is going on. But I don't have to hear about it. I think there's way more going on in life that rappers could talk about. But now that goes against the plan of your masters and your plantation owners, now doesn't it? You see, it's a plan to have that type of music exist. You have to ask yourself, why? Well, the males in rap help fill the prison system. Yeah. The music that you jam to, the music that you listen to, that's designed to put you in prison or in a grave. That's for the men, the males in rap. Yeah. So everybody riding around listening to NBA Youngboy? Yeah. Death and incarceration music is what you jam. And then you go to the female side and you say, well, the plan for the females is to all be hoes. Without hoes, you have no family. Nobody still ain't put that together. But I know what's going on. What you gotta ask yourself, and this is what I ask people who listen to it. What do you get out of it when you listen to it? Is it your entertainment while you're at a party or a gathering? Because that's one thing. That don't mean personally you listen to that. But then for the people who personally listen to it and jam with it every day, what do you get out of it? Do you get any news that you can use? Any knowledge? Information? Anything? Anything positive? I already know the answer to those questions. Do you listen to the beat or do you pay attention to the lyrics? Now, if you caught up in the beat, okay, whatever, that's one thing. But the lyrics don't hide anything. People pretty much let you know who they are, where they stand, what they like, and what they don't like. The lyrics today promote genocide, trauma, beef, tension, animosity, basically negative energy. Does it change the message because it has a beat that make you dance? And you got to think that they play this music in the clubs every weekend. So what do you celebrate? Death? Destruction? Genocide? Mass incarceration of your people? You got to think, what are you celebrating? This is why I call it trash. Because that's what it is. If you listen to it long enough, your mind will become trash. Your thoughts will become trash. Your moves will become trash. Soon enough, your life will reflect the trash that you listen to every day. If a rapper makes a threat to a non-black person, his record will get banned. It will be pulled from all platforms and he will be canceled. But if a rapper talks about killing his own people, he get played on the radio. He get placement on Billboard. He win awards and perform on major platforms, major stages, on television and the internet. See how that works? That's a cold one right there, boy. That's a cold one. But niggas ain't ready for that conversation. That's too deep of a conversation for a lot of people to have. And before I get up out of here, I just want to talk about how you could pay attention to people talking and notice the slights and the disrespect that could come your way just through a simple casual conversation. I'm going to just say it like this. Outside of the people who support and listen to my music, and this is not aimed at y'all, I feel like my music is slept on. And the reason why I slept on is because, for one, I'm independent. For two, and most importantly, my music does not promote genocide or homicidal activity. My music is very different from the mainstream rap of today. All things considered, the reason why I get slept on is because I'm not talking about killing and bitches twerking. Now, is that going to stop me from doing what I'm doing? No. Album number 3 still on the way. Double Jeopardy. Get ready for it. And a couple of singles just because I wanted to. A couple of features just because I wanted to. I just want to bring that to the light and say that publicly because it needs to be said. And not only that, I mean, not only me, there's a whole sector of rap that's being slept on. You know, the conscious hip hop, the enlightened hip hop, you know what I'm saying? The politically and socially conscious hip hop. That's all being slept on because right now it's only 2 types of rap that's popular. It's genocidal, homicidal. One of the two. Sometimes both. And it is what it is. I'm just speaking the truth. It's not going to stop me from what I'm doing because at the same time, you have a public who used to listen to rap, now listening to other genres of music. Afro beats is picking up. People are starting to listen to country a little bit more. You know, there's all kinds of genres of music out there. And when it was mentioned that there had been no rap albums, and there still hasn't been no number 1 rap album this year, for the record, they said that, you know, people are tired of the energy. People are tired of, you know, going to the club, hearing murder, death, kill. They want to hear something else. They looking elsewhere. They listening to other genres of music because rap is stuck in one space. Rap is boring and redundant. That's why I get upset when these artists get on platforms and say rap has evolved. It hasn't evolved. The business of rap has evolved. The business end of rap has evolved because there's a lot more money streams involved now that wasn't in place in the 90s. That I will say. But the quality of rap is piss poor. The quality of rap is chicken shit. Nobody wants to say that because then I'll be shitting on your favorite artist and your favorite song. I don't care about that. Because your favorite artist don't mean shit to me. Your favorite song is not qualified to play while I'm in the bathroom. And that's real. I care about the message that it sends. Because you know what? I'm a parent. And I have a son. And guess what? One day I'm going to have to sit him down and talk to him. And I'm going to be honest as possible because when I was his age, there was nobody around to be honest to me. See, this is where thought culture, you know what I'm saying, hits home. You notice that they asked one of the city girls about having her daughter be a city girl. And she said, my daughter is not going to be a city girl. You see that Cardi B cut her song WAP off when her daughter walked in the room. Interesting. Now let's flip that. How does thought culture affect the future sons of the world? Well, here you go. If you program women to be thots who don't take accountability, then you're possibly breeding generations of this activity. Hopefully, by the time my child becomes of age, I hope that this shit don't be around. But who's to say? It might still be around. And then I will have to have a conversation and let him know the difference between the woman you bring home and the woman that's for recreational use only. You see, we're not breeding suckers over here. We're not breeding simps over here. And in order for a son to grow into a man, he has to see the example of a man. And men have rules. We have structure. We have guidelines and codes. And one of them codes is, if your woman walks out the house with clothes that she should be wearing on the inside of the house in public, she is not your girlfriend. She ain't your wife. She don't respect you or the relationship. And that's how I feel about that. That's an extension of thought culture. See, thought culture made it cool to walk out the house looking like a streetwalker. I just had to give it to you real, man. We had to talk about it all. You know, of course, this conversation will naturally progress and continue. Who knows where it's going next? You know what I'm saying? But I want to thank everybody for supporting the machine. I want to thank everybody for watching. You know what I'm saying? This has been a very great conversation. You know what I'm saying? And as always, man, this is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty in real hip-hop music. I am Cornbread Capone. And as always, everybody, peace and love. Because that's what the world needs, man. Peace and love. And we out. Peace out in your mouth.